Hi everybody, welcome back. So I've got my updated makeup inventory video today. I've been teasing this one for the past couple of videos, but it is finally here. I'm going to share with you how my makeup inventory is looking now that we are into quarter 3. I'll also compare the numbers to how my makeup collection was looking at the start of the year and also at the end of quarter 1, and I'll also somewhere put up pictures as well showing you what exact makeup items I have for all of the categories as well. I've also got a couple of declutters that I want to weave into this video. There's only 3 items. It's not enough to have like a standalone declutter video. So when it comes to those specific categories, I will mention those items that I'm going to declutter. I'm going to keep looking down at my phone, by the way, because that's where I keep my inventory, my makeup inventory. I keep it on Google Sheets, so I keep details of like the brands, the shade names of all the different makeup items I own, shelf life, when I've opened them, how long I've got until they go out of date. So this is where I keep absolutely everything to do with my makeup collection. But let's get started with the base products first. Okay, so starting off with primer. Now this one has changed quite considerably since the last update. I started off the year having 5 primers in my collection. At the end of quarter 1 I had 5 still. Unfortunately it hadn't gone down in number, and by the end of quarter 2 I am now down to just 1 primer. So I had 3 Bobbi Brown face bases and 1 Revolution super base, and I used up all of those in April, June and July, so they all got used up within quarter 2. So I'm now down to 1 primer, and that primer is the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. Now you can use this as a primer, and that's why I bought it, and I have used it as a primer and it's lovely, but I'm actually using this as part of my morning and evening skincare routine. It is my hydrating serum and it's so beautiful. I really do love using that, and I am highly likely going to replace it as soon as I run out. So primers, I'm now down to just 1, which is great. Next is foundation, and this is a category that was probably at the top of my list in terms of priority, in terms of this is the subcategory of makeup that I really want to reduce this year, and I've made some good progress so far. I'm really quite pleased with my progress. So I started off the year on 7, and I'm pretty sure maybe like 3 of my foundations at the start of the year were all out of date, and with something like a liquid foundation the clock does start ticking. You do need to start using these types of products up. By the end of quarter 1 I'd only finished up 1 foundation, however I now own 3. So the foundation that I finished off in quarter 1 was my Arborian CC cream, and then 2 foundations that I used up in quarter 2 were my mini Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Plus foundation, and then also the L'Oreal True Match Nude Plumping Serum that's been in my project pan since the very beginning of the year. However, I am also gonna declutter 1 foundation. The foundation that I'm going to declutter is the other foundation that's in my project pan. It's the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Now if you follow me on Instagram you might have seen a few days ago that I put up several stories where I was basically just having a little bit of a rant, saying how I haven't really liked how my makeup has been looking for the past, well, all of this year really, but probably even before that, because I've got all of this makeup that I'm trying to use up. I do really like project panning and I'm going to continue with it, but because I do things like project pans, trying to use up an eyeshadow palette this year, I just feel like I'm putting on a lot of makeup, and I think this foundation is a big culprit behind why I don't really like how my makeup's been looking, and that's because this is totally the wrong shade for me. It's too dark, it's too orange, and then whatever makeup I put on over the top is just going to exacerbate it. So I have, unfortunately, I suppose, decided to declutter this foundation because I cannot make it work. I've been using it since the start of the year, so I've definitely got my use worth out of it, got my money's worth out of it. I've only got a quarter of it left, so I was thinking, oh, shall I just persevere? I've got a quarter of it left and then I can say that I've used it up, but I don't like how it's looking on me. And also, this is such a slow progressing foundation. It's taking ages for it to go down, so this will probably have taken like another 3-4 months to entirely use it up, and that's a further 3-4 months of me not liking how my makeup looks. So I have decided to declutter this. This did also go out of date in November, so this is about 8 months out of date. It's fine, it smells fine, it hasn't caused any reactions, but I don't want to keep using this whilst other foundations in my collection either reach their expiry date or go even further out of date. So I am going to declutter this, so this means that I am now down to 3 foundations in my collection, which feels so much better. Decluttering this one has kind of like lifted a little bit of weight. So 3 foundations now left in my collection. Concealer has stayed the same all year. I've only got one, and it is my Vive Modern Radiance, I think, concealer. I've taken the stopper out of it, but there is still quite a lot of product left in it, so I reckon this will see me until the end of the year. Colour corrector, I had 2 at the start of the year. They were both by Bobbi Brown, one in a pot and one in a stick. I finished off the stick one, and I've now just got the pot one, and I only need one colour corrector in my collection, so I'm happy with just having one. Powders have all stayed the same. I had 3 at the start of the year, 3 at the previous quarterly check-in, and I still have the same 3. Setting spray has stayed the same in terms of the numbers, so I had 1 at the start of the year, 1 at the previous quarterly check-in, and I've still got 1. It's the same product in terms of like the name, but I've just got a new product. So basically, this is brand new. I used up one of these a couple of days ago, so I bought an exact replacement because I love the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. So the products have stayed the same, the numbers have stayed the same, it's just that I used up one of these and I replaced it with the exact same product. Onto cheek products now. So starting off with bronzer, I had 3 at the start of the year, and I then finished off my Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer, which is a brilliant product, I really did like that. So I then went down to 2 at the last quarterly check-in, and I've now still got the same 2 bronzers. Blushes have changed since the start of the year, so I did start off the year with 5. And then in February and March I finished off 2 blushes. I finished off a Vive Liquid Blusher and a Rare Beauty Cream Blusher, so I was then down to 3 at the end of quarter 1, and I've now still got the same 3 blushes. Highlighter, started off the year on 2, and then I used up a highlighter, so I was down to 1 at my previous quarterly check-in, and I've still got the same 1 highlighter. It's the Merit highlighter that is in my project pan, so I'm trying to actively use that up. It's growing on me though, that one. I wasn't too keen on that one when I first started using it, but I've gotten used to it now. I quite like it. Contour has stayed the same throughout the whole year. Started off the year on 1, had 1 at the end of quarter 1, still got 1, and it is my e.l.f. contour. It's the Halo Glow contour one, something along those lines, I think. That one is also in my project pan, and I'm trying to use that one up because I don't feel like I really need a contour. Doesn't really do too much to my routine, and I've probably got about another month's worth of it. It's very difficult now to get product out of it. And then face palettes have stayed the same as well this year. Started off the year with 2, had 2 at the end of quarter 1, and I've still got 2. I've got my Hourglass Leopard palette, and I've finished off the highlighter in that palette. That was part of my project pan. And I also have the Vive Dawn Face Dimension palette. I've finished off 3 out of 4 shades in that palette, and I just have the pink blusher left to go. Alright, let's go on to eye makeup now. Eyeshadow primer. This has stayed the same all year as well. It's my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So I started off the year with that, still had that at the end of quarter 1, and I've still got that product. Eyeshadow singles next. I started off the year on 6. I had 6 at the end of quarter 1, but I'm now down to 5, and this is because I've decided to declutter the Lisa Eldridge single eyeshadow in the shade Madrigal. It was like a shimmery green colour. I wish it was a bit more khaki, had a little bit more gold in it. It's a really beautiful shade though, but it just wasn't exactly the shade that I wanted, so I'm now down to 5. Eyeshadow duos have stayed the same. Had 1 at the start of the year, 1 at the end of quarter 1, and I've still got 1. It's my NARS duo in Isolde. Eyeshadow palettes have also stayed the same. Had 3 at the start of the year, 3 at the previous check-in, still got 3. It's my Vive Essentials palette, my Revolution Reloaded Hypnotic, and my ABH Modern Renaissance / Norvina palette. Eyeliner pencils have changed though. I started off the year with 5. I had 5 at the previous quarterly check-in, and I'm now down to 3. As part of my project pan, I finished off a nude eyeliner by Peaches and Cream and a brown one by Kiko. I finished them both off on the same day, on the 11th of May. And I'm now down to just 3 in my collection. They're all by Victoria Beckham. 1 in the shade Bronze, the other is in Copper, and the other one is in Cinnamon. They're not part of my project pan because I don't particularly like trying to pan eyeliners. I'm not a huge eyeliner wearer, so I feel like my progress is very slow. So I try not to include them in project pans. Obviously sometimes I do, But I have put those 3 eyeliners in my makeup bag that has all of my Project Pan items in, to kind of remind me to wear them every day. So I'm hoping by the end of the year I can use up all 3 of these, because I'm not really an eyeliner person. I don't really want any eyeliners in my collection next year, so I am trying to finish off those 3 remaining eyeliners. Gel eyeliner has changed. I started off the year with 1. I had the same one at the previous quarterly check-in, but I have decided to declutter that one. I decluttered it on the 23rd of April, and it was my Pot Gel Eyeliner by Bobbi Brown in the shade Chocolate Shimmer, which I was hoping would be a really nice mid-true brown, but it was actually really dark. It was kind of verging on black, and black is just too harsh for my features. So firstly, the shade wasn't the shade that I wanted, but also I just didn't really use it. And again, this just comes back to me not being an eyeliner person. So I now no longer have gel eyeliners in my collection. Mascara has changed. I started off the year on 3, finished up 1, so by the end of quarter 1 I was down to 2. I finished off another mascara, so I'm now down to 1. Eyebrows have stayed the same. I started off the year with 1, and I've had the same one throughout this whole year, which is my Merit 1980 brow. I've got some of it on today. I really like this brow product. I would also replace this one when it runs out. Okay, last selection of makeup items. This is all lip products. So starting off with lip balm, I started off the year on 4. At the end of quarter 1, I still had the same 4, but I'm now down to 0. I now have no lip balms within my collection. So all 4 of these were by Rode. These were the peptide lip tints. I bought them in a set of 4 last year. They were in the shades Toast, Ribbon, Espresso and Raspberry. Toast and Ribbon I used up as part of my Project Pan. They were very easy lip balms to use up because the colours were very light pink. Toast was more of like a muted warm pink, whereas Ribbon was like a bubblegum baby pink type of shade, a little bit cooler tone, but it still suited me fine. And where they were quite easy shades to wear, I could wear them with any makeup, I could wear them on no makeup days, I could pop some on in the evening after I'd done my skincare, and I just felt like they were very easy shades to wear. So I used up those 2, no problem. And then I was left with the shades Raspberry Jelly and Espresso. And I have been trying to wear these every day since finishing off Toast and Ribbon, because I wanted to use up all 4 of them by the end of this year, but I have decided to declutter these 2. So these are the 2 other products that I'm gonna declutter in this video, and the reason is because I just don't like the shades. Actually, that's not quite true for Raspberry Jelly. I like the shade of this, but it doesn't like me. This is a wintry berry colour, so it's a cool toned darkish pink. I do like that colour. I do love these wintry pinks. I love those types of shades, but they just don't look good on me. I've tried wearing it with like warm pink lipsticks like I've got on today. I cannot make it work. I cannot warm it up. And then with Espresso, I really don't like this colour. This is a very cool toned purple brown on me, and it just looks, quite frankly, horrible. I've tried to warm it up again with like my warm brown lipsticks, but I just can't seem to do it. So I have been forcing myself to wear these, forcing myself to try to get them to work for a couple of months now, and I can't do it. I did talk about these on my little Instagram stories rant as well. So I've just decided to declutter these. I've tried to use them, I've tried to make them work, and I can't do it, and there's no point keeping hold of makeup that I don't like and that doesn't suit me. So I've used up 2 of these, and I'm going to declutter these 2. So I'm now down to 0 lip balms in my collection. Lip liners are next. This category has changed a fair bit. I started off the year on 5. By the end of quarter 1, I was down to 4. I used up a NYX lip liner in the shade Natural, and I'm now down to 2 because I used up a further 2 lip liners. One by Jane Iredale in the shade Spice, and one by House of Colour in the shade Maple. So I have 2 lip liners remaining. One is a warm based red by MAC, and the other one is a rust red lip liner by House of Colour. So I just have red lip liners in my collection now. I don't have any light browns or any pinks. Lipsticks is a category that has changed quite considerably since the start of the year. So I started off the year with 17. By the end of quarter one I was down to 12, and I now own 9 lipsticks. Now this has been a mixture of decluttering, selling and using up. So let's see what exactly I have done here. So I've actually used up 4 lipsticks, one by House of Colour which was a neutral brown pink, Black Honey by Clinique, and then 2 of the Hourglass Glossy Lip Balms. I sold a brand new lipstick from Merit in the shade Tiger, and then I decluttered 3 lipsticks. I decluttered my mini Giorgio Armani lipstick because it was too cool toned for me. I decluttered True Terracotta by House of Colour because that was a very bright orange, didn't really wear it. And then I also decluttered Soft Smooth Coral from House of Colour because I find corals a bit too bright. So yeah, 1 sold, 3 decluttered and 4 used up. So yeah, now down to 9 lipsticks, and there are a further 2 that I want to use up by the end of the year. Lip gloss has also changed quite a bit this year. I started off the year on 8, by the end of quarter one I was down to 6, and I'm now down to 3. I used up 2 lip glosses both in quarter one. I used up a clear one by Kiko and then also a cool toned pink from Bobbi Brown, and then I decluttered 3. I decluttered Copper, Coral and Paprika, all by House of Colour. So I just have 3 left. I've got an Apricot and then a Rust, both by House of Colour, and then I've also got one of the Merit Shade Slicks. And then last one is liquid lipstick. This hasn't changed, so I started off the year on 1 and I've still got that same one. It's also by House of Colour, and I use this one actually as a liquid blusher. I've got some of it on today and I wear that every single time that I wear makeup. So that is how all of the individual categories are looking. In terms of overall numbers, so I started off the year having 92 pieces of makeup within my collection. By the end of quarter one I was down to 73, so that was a reduction of 19 pieces of makeup. I am now down to 49 pieces of makeup, so a reduction of 24. So I'm really happy that I'm now under the 50 mark. That is really quite promising, and I'm really intrigued as to how it's going to look at the end of quarter 3 as well, because I'm still on my replacement only no buy, so I'm still only allowing myself to buy makeup if I completely run out of something. So that's really going to help in terms of what I'm bringing into my collection. There's some items that I'm going to naturally use up, like that gel brow product from Merit, my mascara. I've also got products that are a part of my project pan, and also just other products that I've got my eye on that I want to use up. So yeah, I now have 49 pieces of makeup, so I'm very pleased with how my collection is looking. I'm that bit closer to having much more of a, for me, minimal makeup collection, and I know that looks different to every single person, so yes, very pleased with that. If you keep tabs on your makeup inventory, please let me know how yours is looking. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again very soon for my spending, my quarter 2 spending, and also how my list of 52 makeup items that I want to use up by the end of this year is looking. So I'll see you very soon for that one. Bye.